crowned your WR Season 10 champion.
And history's been made. Ballina, the first WOR PS4 champion. What a championship! What a season! Absolutely phenomenal.
Hello everybody and welcome along once again to World Online Racing League Tier 2 on the PC platform. This is round number 3 and we head to the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix. This track costed $400 million to make and it was transformed to one of motorsport's most impressive modern facilities. This track was also where we saw Nico Rosberg take the first win for Mercedes in F1 back in 2012. I wonder if we'll see a first win from someone tonight, as this grid is incredibly close. My name is Jess Ball, one of your commentators for tonight, your only commentator for tonight. Unfortunately, Germo can't make it, so I am solo commentating. And this is a circuit that is known for its changeable conditions, like the Belgian Grand Prix, where we didn't get any racing at all, really. So hopefully we'll see more racing here tonight. And don't be surprised if we see any rain tonight, which could change everything. Around this circuit, we also saw Michael Schumacher took its 91st and final Formula 1 victory ahead of Alonso and Fisichella back in 2006. And that was a race where I remember quite vividly, actually, and I got quite emotional because it was going to be Michael Schumacher's last ever victory. Well, I didn't know it at the time, but there we go. So anyway, a little bit of information about the track. 5.451 kilometers long, 16 turns, 7 to the left, 9 to the right, and we have 2 DRS zones, with 1 being at the start finish straight and 1 being as turn 13 and 14. Short qualifying session as per usual, like the last couple of weeks, and we got 3 compounded tyres as usual. The softs, C4s, medium C3s, and the hards, C2s. Tyre degradation is a lot trickier around this circuit compared to previous races on the calendar. The softs, you don't really want to be using it too much around here. You're going to probably be on the softs for around about 7 laps before you go onto the hards. So I think we'll probably expect to see softer hards for most of the drivers today. The track has a very long straight, so it's a very difficult and technical first and middle sector. And getting the right setup is very crucial to be competitive around here. It's very, very interesting to see how the Drivers' Championship will form due to these results tonight. And we'll go through your championship standings right now. So we saw Vexit win the race last week, Luke Smith, as he's now more known as now. He's currently sitting third in the championship after his win last week on 25 points, joint with Ace in second place on 25 points as well, because Ace got a 5th and a 3rd place, and first place is JC with 35 points after getting a win in Bahrain and a 5th place in Japan. 4th is Tom Martinez on 24 points. 5th is Ruben Pedreño on 18. Ruben Pedreño and Floris Vyers, 5th and 6th respectively. They're going to be racing in Tier 1 tonight. 7th is Shazoo Nomzi on 17 points. 8th is Modesto Mena on 8 points. 9th is Days Rombus with 8 points as well, I believe. VRT Josh in 10th place. Fritzen on 11 in 11th. QBR Cookie, who did astonishing pole up in Tier 1 last week. Great to have him back this week in Tier 2. Tier 2 is his home, really. Alp Oskaya in 13th. Christian Sendel in 14th. Jade Verhaerd in 15th. Neon in 16th. Lefted, who's also in Tier 1 tonight, in 17th. And Anchor yet to score along with Sally also. So a few drivers being replaced tonight. We got Mark 313 in the Williams, replacing Ruben Pedreño. And in the Alfa Romeo, we got BRL Perondi replacing, I think it's Christian Sendel. Yes, he's replacing Christian Sendel. And I think everyone is about to ready up. I think we're just waiting for the last few drivers to get into the lobby. And we'll go through the Constructors' Championship whilst we're at it as well. So with Ferrari's incredible results last week, we saw Ferrari take the lead of the Constructors' Championship, and they are on 49 points. Second is AlphaTauri on 36 points. Third place is Williams on 26 points. Fourth is Red Bull Racing with 25. Fifth is Alpine with 21. Sixth is Aston Martin on 18. Seventh is Mercedes on 12. Eighth is McLaren on 8 points. Ninth is Haas with 2 points. And Alfa Romeo on only the one singular point. So, I am ready to kick off with the action. I'm sure you are as well. And without any further delay, we're about to get underway for some fantastic and incredible racing. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to be getting pole position. So, here we go then. Let's get started then. I hope you're as hyped as I am. So, the average speed around this track is around about 212.7 kilometers per hour, which is quite fast if you think about it. But obviously, high-speed corners such as Monza and tracks as well, obviously could go a lot faster than that. And with the championship only being 14 rounds as well, if people have a few bad races in a row, it's really gonna test them for what they know. And we're going to be looking at the stewards report as well whilst we load into the qualifying session. And the stewards report for a few instances actually. Top Jack got a 5-second penalty for overtaking off the circuit at Spoon when overtaking VRT Josh. As Jack retired, he will just receive the 5 penalty points. And the second incident was an incident between Top Jack and VRT Josh again, but it was a 5-second to VRT Josh for hitting the back of and spinning Top Jack in the hairpin. The hairpin in Japan, because that's where we were last week. Dave Wombers has had his penalty removed after some unfair penalties last week. And there was a 15 seconds applied to Mr. Anker for a significant late manoeuvre causing the DNF of Top Jack. And the final incident was a 5-second penalty to Shizu Nomzi for the incident at Turn 2 with VRT Rainbow. And the stewards felt it was a lunge due to the nature of the corner speed and therefore was responsible for the incident to occur. So there we go. Those were the incidents that happened last week. So let me just get the spectator menu up and get all the lovely features for you guys, and then let's get on with the action. So Perondi is one of the first drivers out on circuit right now, and as he passes turn 4, and let me get the audio up, that's better. I thought I was panicking that you couldn't hear us, but now you can, so it's all good. So this is a track also where balancing throttle and brake is quite difficult, especially towards turn 1 and 3. There's a few other action zones as well as turn 1. We got turn 6 as well, in particular in 2018 when we saw the overtake of the year from Ricciardo back in turn. And traction out of turns 3 and 4 are crucial into the run up to 6. And I think we're going to expect some moves around there. Turn 13, important corner of the circuit. Careful on the throttle control is crucial because otherwise you're going to end up in a spin. And you got to get a good exit onto the long back straight. I think we had a few drivers complain about this turn 13 being a lot more difficult compared to the last game. And the drivers will be pushing to the limits. Turn 14, coming up very, very soon actually, will be the likely most #1 overtaking spot. on all races tonight in a WOR. And it's a huge flat out section, but if you get it wrong on the brakes, then that could be a scene of many incidents. We've seen many great moves in the past in real life back there, and it was, I have to say, incredible. So something good to watch. So let's go on board with Perondi as he takes us on board a hot lap around this beautiful circuit. So heading towards turn 1, the iconic aspect of this circuit, brake just after the 50-metre board, turning there as well. You'll be gradually easing off the brake as you go around the corner, aiming to make the inside of the corner just where the tarmac service road to the right is. Now you pass that tricky chicane and now past 4 and now heading towards the King of 5. I don't know why you call it a corner, but it is a corner. And now heading towards turn 6 now. Heading towards the start of Sector 2. In Sector 1, Perondi was not too bad. So he's looking quite confident so far as we head towards turn 8 and 9. And now heading towards the edge of turn 10. Now there he goes. And you'll be going at almost 190 miles per hour heading into the entry of turn 13, 12 and 13 actually. And he's not as confident as you would usually expect on a lap around China. But these drivers are getting some banker lap times in. So it is to be expected. So now heading towards turn 14, like I said, loads of overtakes are going to happen here. Nicely done. Oh, he's had a bit of a slide as well, which is not ideal. So unfortunately, that is his lap over. We got one of the Mercedes actually of Fritzen, who I can go on board with to continue the lap. So that's very good timing actually. So VRT Fritzen comes across the line and it's his out lap. So I'm guessing he wasn't that happy. But Perondi's actually got time on the board, and from my personal experience, because I've experienced it quite a few times around China, it's better to get a lap in than not. So we'll also have a look at last week's race winner, Luke Smith, coming across the line now to set the benchmark time of 1:29.6. I had a nice chat with him last week in the interview box, and he was a lovely guy to talk to. He was very happy with the win. To be honest, he didn't know what to expect going into the race last week because he missed Bahrain due to the fact I believe he was on holiday. And he was also very happy that his teammate, Tom Martinez, did a great job as well. Expect to be, I think, in the 129s tonight for pole position. And we saw in Tier 1, the times were absolutely incredible. Amazing to see. And we're seeing Jeffrey Ritchie, who had a podium last time out, in second position at the moment, 129.8. We got some more yellow flags. I think that's Tom or Luke. I don't know who it is. Nope, it's Tom. That's lost it there in a turn. I need to figure out what turn it is. It's turn 6 and 7 where we lost it. So, unfortunately, he'll have to come into the pits. And that is on mediums. Now, the reason why people have gone on the mediums to start with, because on this game, you don't have an option of what's higher allocation you go with just to fit with the rules in real life where the drivers and teams don't have a choice either. So you're either going to be going on, you've got 3 sets of softs for the qualifying and 1 set of the medium tyres. Now we don't know what the weather's going to be like during the race, but with 2 people on the mediums, the other driver on the mediums is QVR Cookie. That is strongly suggesting that I think we are going to be having a dry race, at least a dry start to the race. Now, I was very impressed with Cookie last week in Tier 1 in qualifying. Shame he didn't have a good result in the race, but to be honest, he is a driver with so much talent. He's came from the PlayStation platform, and he's performed very well there too. I was originally going to commentate on him in PSGL F2, but he moved to PC and I'm commentating on him instead. So at least I get to commentate on him this game cycle. So better than nothing. And he's looking very good on those mediums. I think probably 130, 131 on the mediums. Good benchmark time, I would say, for him. Bit of a slide there through 15. And now heading towards final corner of 16. 16 corners around this beautiful circuit. And what's it going to be? I did say 130 would be a good lap on the mediums, and it definitely was. So there he goes in 7th position. What about his teammate, Shazoo Nomzi, who's going on its outlap right now? Nomzi had a very good comeback drive last week. He qualified quite low, but he did a brilliant job to get some points on the board. And I think he is another man who I feel like will be potentially one of the favourites for the win of this race. And with a few drivers in Tier 1 tonight, we may get a different person that can challenge the likes of Luke Jeffrey and potentially JC as well. Don't forget JC took pole position last time out in Japan, but unfortunately it didn't convert into the race victory. Sally's on a lap right now. He did not start the race in Japan, but he had a very dismal performance in Bahrain, only managed to finish in P14. So he's got 0 points on the board, and I'm sure he's going to hope to do a lot better than that as we head towards, he goes into the pits. I'm guessing he was not happy. So everyone else now on their outlaps at the moment. So whilst we're on a quiet phase of qualifying, I would just like to take this opportunity to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn that red button to grey. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do, because not many of you are subscribed. And we're about to reach a huge milestone if we haven't already. And you can also follow us on Twitter at WR League. That also keeps you up to date on when our streams go live as well. And also turn the notification bell on YouTube as well. And if you want to follow me on Twitter as well, cheeky plug, I know I'm not meant to, but tough. It's at JessGames95. I can't remember what Germo's Twitter handle is, but hopefully Germo will be back in the commentary box next week. Bearing in mind I'll be a tired person because I would just be coming home from Scotland that day. So I'll just be a very tired bunny, but I'm aiming to get back in time for the race, hopefully, depending on how the trains go. As Fritzen stopped on the track, so I guess he's let one of the Williams through. And believe it or not, a Williams actually got on the podium in real life today, even though the circumstances. Spoiler alert. I should have said spoiler alert, but there we go. I think, let's see who is going to be improving on their lap. I think we have an AlphaTauri of Jay, who's going into, let me just check what corner. Going into turn 9. And we'll see what his set to 2 split is in a second. Another yellow flag. Probably people going to the pits, but I think it's a Williams that's probably moved out the way again. Heading now to 11 and then 12 and then for the exit of 13. This lap is looking very good for Jay. He picked up his first point last time out, so he's on the board with one singular point, but he is aiming to get more points than that. Heading towards 14 now. Let's see how committed he is throughout that corner. I think it could be a bit better, but still better than some other drivers on the track right now. Look at that commitment through 16 though. That's probably gained him a lot of time in the final sector. 2 temps up. He's now the 6th person to go into 139 as Tom Martinez is fastest at the moment with a 129.6. So at the moment, we have got a Ferrari 1-2. And since Ferrari are going into this race, being the leaders of the Constructors' Championship, it's great to see that they're doing very well at the moment in qualifying. Nomzi as well put his car into 3rd. Who else is about to cross the line to finish their lap? I think Jay's teammate JC is going to finish his lap as well. He did a good final sector, and he's shown that a 129.606. Split to 2 Ferraris and Anchor. What the hell? Where did that time come from? 129.435. 2 temps faster than anyone, and he was purple in the final sector. That, I have to say, is amazing from him. He is a driver that's had really bad luck this season. He finished in 12th place last week. He just missed out on points. But because of Flores Valles, Aston Martin are now on the ball in terms of constructors' points. And could this be a track where Anchor takes an advantage? So we've got a few more drivers in the pit. I wonder if one of the Alpine cars was on a lap. I think QVR Cookie is, so let's go on board with him. Expect, I think, Cookie to jump out P14 and definitely in the top 10, potentially challenging for pole. I'm probably potentially not trying to jinx things here. Slightly interesting on the medium compounder tyres. So here comes Cookie. What can he do? And he goes fastest, so times are starting to get better and better as the track is getting the most grippier. Most of these drivers getting their laps in nice and early. Now, I was not expecting these lap times to come in, so we could get some quicker times here. Could we see a driver in the 128s? Well, we'll have to wait and see, shall we? Nobody is on a flyer at the moment, unless you're Sally in the Haas. And hopefully he could get a lap time on the board on those mediums. I guess he wants to start on those medium compounder tyres. But, you know, if he wants to be in the top 10 on those mediums, he needs to find, I think, about a second. So, a tough call, but let's hope he can do it. And thank you to everybody that's been watching the stream so far. We got quite a few predictions in the chat. So we got Ben Comiso, who's rooting for Tom 97. He's doing quite well at the moment, and Cookie does go fastest. And he's going into the pit lane. And Ben is hoping Tom doesn't do his famous qualifying crash. Well, at least he's got a lap time on the board, so at the moment, he's fine, and he's also predicting Tom to pole and win. I don't see any other predictions in the chat, so I'm just going to trust everyone's judgment, really, to be honest, as we are about to get towards the calm before the storm here in China. And if people do not get their lap times in now, then this could be disaster class for them. And don't you worry, Ben, I do have some water for the stream. It's all good. So, I think one of the last people to cross the line will be, I won't be surprised if it will be Cookie, because Cookie is still in the pit lane. And we also got BRL Dead as well on an outlap. Where is he? There he is. Who is replacing VLT Josh, who can't make it tonight. Dead being one of the new reserves, as well as, obviously, Perondi. And we got Kerfuffle in tonight as well. Good to have him here. He's currently sitting in 6th position. And setting a really good lap time for the midfield, but he only needs to find a few tenths per second and he'll be challenging potentially for the front row. So this is a good benchmark for him. And Vexit is on a lap. Dead has decided enough's enough, or he might have actually, I think he has retired in the pit lane. Yes, he has. Let's go on board with Vexit then. Last week's race winner, looking good through sector 2 at the moment. Nicely controlled the car here, heading towards turn 10. Using a bit of curb there, but not too much, because otherwise it would send you into a spin. Through 12, and now heading towards turn 13. 10-2 split was very, very nice indeed. If he wants to get pole position, Luke has to find 3/10 of a second. We also got an Alfa Romeo behind him on a lap 2, so I will keep an eye out on Pironi as well, as he's the only Alfa Romeo on a lap, so keep an eye on him. But first, let's keep an eye on Vexit. Here he comes to the line. DRS activated very quickly, and it is not par with his P3. We'll put Pironi in at the Alfa Romeo. Wow, look at that. 129.3. Then we got the 2 Red Bulls. Jeffrey Ritchie. Podium sitter last time out. Can he get into the top 3 in qualifying? Yes, he can. 129.362. And the checker flag has dropped. So we're starting to see people on their final laps. Fritzen will be the first person to cross the line. Then it will be Tom Martinez. Fritzen has to do a lot better if he wants to get into the top 10. And he does get into the top 10. Brilliant stuff. What about Tom? A few people saying he would do well in qualifying. Well, let's see what he could do. P5 for him, not too bad. We'll see if his teammate could do any better. We got one of the Alpine cars. That is Nomzi on a lap now. About to finish his lap. He comes across the line. P4. Now we got one of the Alpha Tauris, I believe. No, that's not JC, that's J. But Kerfuffle almost in the 128s there with a 129.187. And we got another Alpha Tauri of JC heading towards the hairpin. Oh, a little bit wide. I think that is definitely going to cost him time. So he goes in into the pit lane. Let's watch out for Vexit now. He could possibly be the only man to deny Kerfuffle on pole position. We'll watch Cookie as well. Vexit goes into the pits. Cookie has unfortunately invalidated, and Mark, I believe, is on a in lap. So, unless Jeffrey Ritchie could go even quicker, which I don't advise to be on 1 lap older tyres than you need to, then Kerfuffle, this man here, will be on pole position. 3 different pole sitters this season. We had Kerfuffle this race. We had JC in the second race in Japan. And in the first race, we had Christian Sendel. I wonder if we could make it 4 for 4 next week. I think that is something that I think I'm going to set the drivers a lovely challenge on that. So I think we're just waiting for Mark to retire in the pits, and then we will go through your qualifying results and see how close it was. So here we go then. The Haas fastest. Who would have thought you would see that? But it is equal cars. 1/10 of a second separates Cookie in second. Pironi in the third. Jeffrey Ritchie in the fourth. Nomzi in fifth position. Mr. Anchor, his best qualifying result of the season, in sixth. Tom Martinez in seventh. Luke Smith in eighth. Rainbow in ninth. And JC rounds up your top 10. Then we have Mark, Jay, Fritzen, Neon, Dead, and Sally rounding up your grid. And the bottom half of the grid from 11th downwards will have an option to go on to whatever tyre that they want to for the race. 28 laps await our drivers tonight. And some people might try and go for the 2-stop strategy if weather comes into a factor. I'm not sure what the race is like at the moment in Tier 1. But most of the Chinese races I've commentated on this game, there has been some wet weather. So if we do get some wet weather tonight, then I do apologise. And just a quick reminder as well, we could have a third different race winner, because Vexit won in Japan, JC won in Bahrain, and if Kerfuffle can continue his pace that he's been showing for pretty much all of this qualifying session, then that could be very, very good for him. We are about to get started and underway with the racing then. Thank you so much for joining us so far. We hope you've been enjoying the action. And there's not much delay to this, unlike in real life, so we won't be waiting too much longer. So, higher choices for our drivers. So, we have got Kerfuffle from JC on the top 10 on the soft tyres, because they have to start on the tyres that they set their fastest lap on in the qualifying session. We have got Mark 313, who is in at P11 on the mediums. Jay Verhaar on the hards. Fritzen on the mediums. Neon on the mediums. Dead on the hards, and Sally is on the medium compound of tyres. Now, I don't know what to think of that, because with the mediums, I think you only have one option, unless you want to go for a two-stop strategy, unless the drivers are seeing something that I'm not seeing. Because you never know. They could be seeing something that we're not seeing. So, we shall see about that. Get your predictions in the chat on who you think is going to get a win. And we hope that you stay for the rest of this race. But for the ones on the hards, I'm almost certain they're going to be doing the hards to soft strategy. There's no doubt about that. So we're about to go green flag racing. Kerfuffle on pole position. Cookie lines up alongside. Who's ready for some racing? I know I am. It's a Marmite track. You either love China or hate China. But the 5 red lights are coming on. And we are underway for WR Tier 2. Cookie's got a really good start. Kerfuffle, not as much as they all head towards the very tricky turn 1 to 3 complex. Kerfuffle was caught napping. Jeffrey Ritchie is also trying to capitalise on Kerfuffle's mistake then as they head towards turn 4 now. As Kerfuffle has gone a little bit wide. Nomsy has also got a good start. Peroni got a good start too, as well as the 2 Ferraris as they try to make their way up through the grid. Anchor making their way back into P6 as he tries to go for a send there. And I did see a Haas driver go off. I'm not quite sure who that is, but we're going to keep our close attention to the battles near the front. It's Cookie that leads. Jeffrey Ritchie in second. Kerfuffle in third. And it is Neon that's had a bit of an issue, but we'll watch the board. JC and Rainbow then. As JC tries. There's not much space in turn 13, but they're giving it everything they got. Into the entry of 13. JC holds his line. Could this be the line that he's looking for? But Rainbow, one of the reserve drivers, is not giving up without a fight here. People at the front also trying to make moves. I think it's one of the Ferraris trying to get past his teammate. But first, here comes JC on Rainbow, turn 14. I did say this would be the overtaking opportunity of the century here. But they couldn't do it, as we're now, fortunately, getting the timing towers as someone has gone into the pits. And that is Neon due to his damage that he has got. And we're not on lap 3, by the way. We're on lap 2. And it's a shame that the timing towers don't fix itself, because Cody's is Cody's. There we go. Interesting fact, I have to say. And then we're going to look at position changes in just a second. Let me have a look. Actually, I'm probably not going to look at position changes now because, yeah, they just mess up like no tomorrow. So Neon is not your race leader. He will come out, and I believe he would be on a set of the hard compound tyres. So that's where his race would end, unfortunately. Whereas Kerfuffle made his way up back into P3, which is very, very good for him. After that spin, he's probably not the best at start, so he's looking to have a much better race. But, big story, Sally up 3 positions. Don't forget he started in last position. Jeffrey up 2. Luke Smith up 2. Everyone else mainly a game 1 position. Fritzen up 2 as well. Perondi, biggest loser. He must have had a bit of an issue as well. And let me just hide the UI for a second and change it back to tyres. And with Cookie pulling away from the rest of the field, it shows that his starts were impeccable. I would like to see the onboard shot of Cookie's start because the reaction time that he did was sensational. Now, expect the tyres to drop off for the softs around about lap 5, which will probably be the moment where the crossover point between the softs and the medium compounded tyres. And I think watch out for Mark as he's already up into P10 after everyone's misfortunes. And if Mark starts to catch up to these soft runners, then soft runners are going to be a lot of trouble. And lap 4 then, so DRS is enabled then, as Kerfuffle's gone into the pits. So Kerfuffle is gone early. Now that is early for the hard tyres, if I do say so myself. So I wonder if he's going to be probably going early. There might be rain at the end of the race. He's gone on mediums. Oh, so I did predict changeable conditions. Could this be the race where we get them? Because there's just no other way he would go on mediums. Mediums only last, according to my data, let me have a look. If I could get it, that is. Come on. There we go. 16 laps. So he has got to pull the recovery drive of his life. As yellow flag, Neon is out the race, and he's binned it in turn 2. He's binned it in. So we do have a safety car. Now, that is potentially good timing from Kerfuffle, if I do say so myself. But what will the drivers do? Will they... Well, they have to box now, surely. But what tyres will they go on? If they go onto the mediums tyres, then that will suggest a wet end to the race. If they go on the hards, they can try and stretch those tyres until the end of the Grand Prix. So do watch out for these potential things to happen, and I can't wait. So, QBR Cookie, let's go on board with him first. He goes on the hards. So does Jeffrey Ritchie. Tom Martinez stays out. Now, a few drivers were forced to stay out because otherwise they would have lost a lot more time by being held up by their teammate. So So that's not good for the Ferrari team, but to be honest, Tom had no other choice. The one at the front had the priority. Same with Mark as well. So the ones who had teammates, Fritzen has stayed out and so has Des. So both of the Mercedes boys are not budging at all. Which, to be honest, is quite surprising. Now, there was quite a few moments in real life where we saw some safety car periods. And interestingly enough, there was a few drivers, one of them being Mark Webber, who started near the back and went on to finish on the podium. He gained 15th place in the race to finish third. Will we get a similar recovery drive? You never know. And I have to say, I was not surprised to see a safety car. Safety cars are quite prominent around here. And the question is, will Tom Martinez dive into the pits for the hards this lap? Because he will be on the back of this train. Now, Luke, I think's lost a bit of time in that safety car, as does quite a lot of people. Some people have the benefit of just having them in this week. So they're able to potentially do whatever strategy they want to. And Tom Martinez does come into the pit then. He is committed to that strategy. Probably not the strategy that he wants. And it is getting a bit on the cloudy side right now. So we could potentially, you never know, we could see rain. This is going to be very, very exciting. So sit back. Sit very, very tight because we are going to be in for some crazy battles. And it's getting dark very quickly. Like I saw in France when I was commentating last week. It just fell like a drop of a hat. It was like it suddenly turned into rain. So I wonder if Rainbow's decision, Jay's decision in 12th, Tom's decision was maybe the right thing, or maybe if they knew that the rain was going to come down as quickly as they would have thought, maybe they would have put on another set of softs, because it's quite misty. So if you just joined us, this is WR Tier 2. And we have just come across a safety car. It started off nice and sunny, but it is getting cloudier and cloudier by the second. You do not want to miss this. Mark is leading the train. There's 4 cars that have not pitted. They're probably going to be at a disadvantage because they're still yet to stop. Safety car is in. So Mark is going to be the de facto safety car, and I think he's going to choose to accelerate early, but they can't overtake until we go green flag racing, and we do. Let's watch Cookie. Cookie may be caught out a bit there, but not by a lot. And he tries to go around the inside of Sally. Des trying to overtake as well. There's so much going on in the space of a few corners. Nomsy has had a horrible start, down to 10th. Luke's back up to 8th. He's trying to get on the back of Mr. Anchor. Go around the right-hand side then, through 6. Does not do it, unfortunately. Tom Martinez has dropped right down due to him pitting earlier. So Bit of some issues for some people in the garages, but brilliant start from Cookie, who is our net race leader. Jay is already making some ground as well, up into 10th place. And he's on newer tyres, and he managed to warm them up brilliantly. Could he get past Nomsy now? It's a track that's so much difficult to overtake. Don't forget, I did say about Mark Webber starting from low down to finish on the podium. Could we see a podium for Jay? If the threat of rain is coming, or is it just overcast weather? And some people are probably gone on the hards because they think the rain will come towards the end of the race. Here comes Jay on side by side with Kerfuffle. We saw Luke side by side with Deads. And Luke is up into 7th position. Deads down into 8th. Kerfuffle has dropped massively. Perondi's on the soft now. He's gone for a gamble that I thought a few people would have done. Let's just hope for him and for his sake that the rain comes sooner. This could potentially be free abreast. Oh my word. This is getting very spicy indeed. Make sure you watch the rest of this because it's absolutely sensational. Dead to the inside. And it looks like Nomsy has to take the long way round. And we do have a yellow flag. That is unfortunately Tom Martinez, who's had a bit of a spin in turn 6 again. Turn 6 is where they get a lot of people out. Now he's lost it through the middle of 8. Well, middle of 7 actually. And he has unfortunately reset to track. So unfortunately, I think on the Marmite scale, he hates this track. Fritz are doing a great job on those mediums. And maybe the ones on the mediums have timed this very well. Same with Mark. So could these three be on for the race win here today? And I thought I did see rain, but I was probably imagining it. Blah, blah, blah. I was imagining things. As Nomsy is in the pits then. Is he going on to softs or mediums, or is he seeing things that we're not, or is he going on into us? Oh, we got a spinner. That is Anchor. After a good qualifying session, he qualified in 6th position. He's dropped it down into 10th. So Perondi is on the hards. Nomsy's on the mediums then. So maybe the rain is not coming. Maybe it's just a threat that's going to stay out, because don't forget the weather has been set to approximate, which means that it may not be perfect. And that's what I like. The weather is so unpredictable on this game that anything can happen as we head towards lap 10 very, very soon. And remember China, when Nico Rosberg took his first win here in the Mercedes. This was a sign of things to come for the Mercedes team. The Mercedes being so successful in real life. And we are watching turn 14 now. Oh, there's a bit of front wing damage. Oh, a big pile up there. I think Cookie got collected in that as well. That is huge. And Cookie, because of that contact, unfortunately, had to go into the pit lane. That is heart-wrenching for the Alpine driver who put his car firmly on top at the start. But at least he's going to be on the softer tyres. All that he can hope and pray for now, that there is going to be a safety car. But to be honest, no offence, but I doubt there's going to be a safety car. So this has been an unfortunate result for him so far. But Frenson doing a great job. Sonny's trying to peep out a little bit, so you never know. So, Jay getting the most out of anyone, and he could get past Luke in turn 14 in the hairpin. Now, a few information about turn 14. If you have a car that's quick in a straight line, that could definitely reap the rewards. But it also has a fair share of incidents. Jay, unfortunately, not quite close enough to get the move done on Luke Smith. But he's gained a lot of cornering speed there, so he may get him in the next lap. Someone's gone off. That is a Haas, and that is Kerfuffle, I think. No, it's not Kerfuffle. It's Sally, I think. I thought I saw a Haas that went off. But that was very close. That could have ended up a lot worse. Rainbow has just got past Sally. And I wonder if people have got some sort of side pod damage, because side pod damage on this game is not repairable. Same with diffuser damage, same with floor damage. But it's really impossible to tell. Nomsy setting the fastest lap of the race. JC also getting past Sally up into 7th. So Sally struggling on those older mediums. And the mediums only last 16 laps. So I don't think we've reached the crossover point yet. But I think Sally must be struggling a lot more. Maybe his crossover point is hit now. And if I was him, if it wasn't going to rain, he would have probably gone on into the hard compounded tyres. The hards to the end can go from lap 7. Mediums to the end can go from lap 12. And softs to the end can go from lap 21. And a brilliant performance from Jeffrey, especially, who is your net race leader. Dead, I think, has gone off now. Yes, he has in turn 13. So let's go on board with him. Here he is. He's limping his car home. Not the spin he would have liked. Another unfortunate spin in turn 13. Luke being a net P2. Don't forget, he was a net P2 in the pit stops last week. And he managed to get the move that he needed to take the race victory. So we are seeing a repeat from last week. And he's keeping it calm, he's keeping it collected. And Cookie, on the fresh set of mediums, is going faster than anyone. And Dead is out of the race. He has retired from the pit lane. He has decided to call it quits there. And don't forget, the hards, between the hards and the mediums, 6/10 of a second. And the hards is an 8/10 loss between the softs and the hards than last game. That is massive. 1.8 seconds. And between the softs and the mediums, 1.2 seconds. And I think I just heard fireworks going on in next door, which I don't think should happen. But there we go. We're hitting to the halfway mark of this race so far. Let us know who has been your star performer so far in this race. Oh! Luke, how on earth did he save that? That was insane. But that could have ended up so much more costly for him for this race. Visibility has decreased, sadly, but let's watch Jeffrey on Fritzen, and he's gone for the move of dreams here. Jeffrey, even though he did not have to do that because Fritzen has need to box, Jeffrey is in P2, and I think we're starting to get to the stage where the mediums, the warm mediums, are not the best tires to be on. So Mark and Fritzen will potentially be going into the pits right now. The track is starting to brighten up again. So the threat of rain that we were promising is not materialised. So the ones, Jay, Tom, Kerfuffle, I'm worried for them. I'm not sure those mediums could get to the end. But we've seen in Bahrain drivers do a soft to medium strategy, which I did not think they would do. And they proved me wrong. So we could see a situation where they could be proved wrong. But in this situation here, for some of the guys on the mediums, it's going to be either points for them or a puncher. And to be honest, I do not want them to get a puncher. That'll be costly. As Luke is going side by side with Fritzen, and Luke is on a charge now. As Luke was pressurized by Fritzen, and he had to defend for his life. So Fritzen is now in the pits, and he's going on to hard compounded tyres as well. Those hard compounded tyres could get to the end from here, and it will, because the hards last 21 laps. And there's still quite a few people yet to do their mandatory stop, one of which is Mark, who is leading. And you can see the way he's controlling his car, that he is definitely struggling at the moment. So will that allow Jeffrey to retake the lead once more? Most successful people in the Chinese Grand Prix, Hamilton. Only driver to have taken the fastest lap of the race here more than once, having done so 4 times. 2008, 2010, 2015 and 2017. And he's the most successful driver in Shanghai with over double the number of wins of any other competitor at the track. He's taken 6 victories in China. 2008, 2011, 2014, 2015, 17 and 19. And we're having a battle between the Bahrain race winner, JC, and Ankit. Ankit's back up to where he started, and he could be a force to be reckoned with if the guys on the mediums start to struggle. Or I wonder, are the ones on the mediums thinking there could be another safety car? As Cookie on these fresh mediums gets past Kerfuffle. Next on Cookie's hit list is Tom Martinez, who's around about 5 seconds behind now. But you never know. Oh, that's very close to contact between Jeffrey Ritchie and Luke there. But both of these drivers were battling last week together, and they were doing really, really well. And let's see how they cope with the final third of this race. Don't forget, due to the precision and concentration that these drivers have to take around this circuit, they're probably a little bit tired now, and are probably getting a little bit worried. So let's watch Luke now. And he's got the straight line speed of dreams here. And he got past Jeffrey. Sully's out. And maybe that move was crucial, because there could be a safety car. Yellow flag sector 3 though. This was a part where we saw Sally go out, and I think his car is removed. And it is in a pit lane, so yeah, there is no safety car. Don't forget, make sure you follow us on Twitter at WRR League. Rainbow's catching, so is Mr. Anchor. So we could have a 5-6 car lap. A car train. This could get very, very intense. And I'm quite surprised that Mark has not boxed. So, is Mark doing the unexpected? Is he going onto the soft? Now, we're seeing the guys like Jay, like Rainbow, like Tom, like Cookie. They're going for the gamble. They're going and thinking that these mediums will get to the end. I doubt it, but you guys in the chat will probably think that it would probably happen, so. But we'll see. Is Mark going to box now? He stays out another lap. And Luke has got past Jeffrey. So Luke is now your net race leader. With Jeffrey and net P2. Jay, if he could keep this up and keep his tyre life in good net, he's in a net P3. Mr. Anchor and Rainbow are battling for a net P4 of this race. I have to say, Anchor with a brilliant comeback so far. Comeback of dreams, I like to say, but I'm watching Anchor's ERS at the moment. 10%. Rainbow, let's have a look at his. No, I don't want the onboard shot. There we go. 44, so Anchor needs to push. But Rainbow needs to push more, knowing that Anchor has got less ERS than him. This may mean Rainbow could have the upper hand. And Ben is saying in the chat that everybody could pit again, and it will be a soft sprint to the end. So we could have a 2-stop. Ooh. Interesting. So the only ones that don't need to box then is Luke, Jeffrey, Anchor and JC then, if that happens. So here comes Anchor on Rainbow. JC almost got Rainbow there. So are the mediums starting to die a lot quicker than we would expect? And now Anchor's got past Rainbow. Rainbow could be on the tap once again. Ooh! Rainbow almost gave me a heart attack there, but Anchor closed the door very nicely towards these next set of corners. And I will get the position changes up on my screen as well. Oh, no, I don't want penalties. Only 3 drivers getting time penalties. So a lot of drivers have been practicing. I was, to be fair, expecting more drivers to get penalties. So fair play to all of them. Again, Mark still yet to stop. He's gambling for the 1-stop, isn't he? He does not want to do the 2-stop. Softs only last 7 laps, don't forget. I think there was one Chinese Grand Prix race where during a safety car I was like, you know what, I'll go on softs. But I then realised that we've got ages to go until the end of the race, and that was heartbreaking because towards the end my tyres were toast. It was on 60%, 60-70%. I do not know how they got to the end, but it lost its optimum pace. So I think we're going to get a similar situation with Mark. Mark stays out for another lap. The more laps he is staying out, the more a train is growing. And that means we could get some more close racing. And to be honest, I'm all for it here tonight. And Rainbow and JC also the only other drivers to pick up a time penalty. I usually get my co-commentator to check the amount of warnings that people get. But it is hard to tell when I'm on my own, because I am on my own in the commentary box tonight. And I thought I heard somebody then, but I swear I'm not on the Discord. So, well, at least I think I'm not on the Discord. Or it must have been me breathing in a weird way, probably. And nope, it wasn't anyone on the Discord, but we got a yellow flag. That is Peroni that's retired. So he's given up. But that doesn't draw to the fact that Luke could get past Mark, who's still yet to box. Mark's already passed his sell-by date of tyres. I think Luke realises that he's got his own battles to play, and he doesn't really want to fight this. And Mark's got a 3-second time penalty. I believe that's another one. Oh, he is on 8 seconds. So he's going to lose so much more time in the pit stops. And he's just losing so much more grip. I don't know why Mark is fighting him. Because Mark doesn't need to do this. And all of this is allowing Jeffrey into the mix as well. Past 5, now in towards turn 6. Let's watch him on the back of this. Jeffrey Ritchie has got front row seats to this fight. Jeffrey has the upper hand. If any of these two make a mistake, Jeffrey could pounce right here and right now as we head towards turn 10 and 11. Back straight we come, one of the back straights. Jeffrey sector 2 is a 53 something. Through 12 and into 13. A bit of a slide on the throttle there, but the Red Bull driver is looking to replicate what Max Verstappen has done a few times this season. And Luke's going to try and go for the move. Will Jeffrey back off? And I think he has to. Oh! Jeffrey could have used this opportunity to go to the right-hand side, but he decided not to. Mark finally goes into the pits, but surely he's not going to go for soft. The soft will not make it. I'm just still a bit worried about why they've chosen to do this for Mark. Like, this is not good at all. And he's got a service stock go as well. I think a safety car would bring him back. And I did see someone else in the pits. Nomsy as well. Tom Martinez. So maybe Ben was right. Maybe the ones that went on the means for their first stop will be going on to softs then. But could this be a way to climb back the rest of the field? Because Jay, no offence to Jay, I don't think those medium tyres are going to make it. But I'm sure Jay is going to prove everybody wrong. I would like to actually see the tyre life on Jay's car right now. Because I wouldn't want to be in a situation where I have to manage the tyres like that. But he's got no one behind him. But I'm watching the gap between himself and Mr. Anchor. Jay's gained about 4 tenths on Anchor this lap. That is crazy. So maybe he saved a bit of grip for these final few moments. And if there's a safety car that comes, Jay could be back in this. And this could be his first podium of the season. And we could see another repeat winner here unless Jeffrey could find a way past Luke, which is easier said than done. Thank you to those of you that just joined us from the Tier 1 stream. Hope you enjoyed that. But we still got some incredible racing here in Tier 2. And Kerfuffle has gone into the pit then. So, a troublesome night for the pole sitter. The pole sitter never does well in WOR, so in PC Tier 2 at least. So I think it's going to be, some commentators' curses, which is a bit of a shame. Meanwhile, Mark on no soft is going side by side with Nomsy, heading towards turn 8 and 9. Mark gets it done eventually. And just a quick reminder, soft tyres, 1.8 seconds faster than the hards. 1.242 seconds faster than the mediums. If Mark could keep up that pace, then he should be fine. But softs only last 7 laps, like I said. We're not that far to the end of the race. Has your predictions changed on who you think should win this race? Who do you think has been the star driver so far? Jeffrey's gained a bit through 4. Oh, I thought Jeffrey did a bit of a slide there, but I don't think he did. Mark setting the fastest lap of this race. and 131.406 for Tom. He still could get points, but it's going to be hard. And I think Jay is watching that gap because the pit lane loss is 22 seconds. So that would put him... He would still get some points, I think, if he boxes now. So it won't be the end of the world because he started near there at the start of the race. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But he wants to take gambles. But look at Anchor now. The gap was 3.5. Now the gap has drastically come down to 2 seconds. If this is a wake-up call for Jay, I think Jay needs to box now. If he does not box, I am certain that Jay's going to get a puncher. He's losing so much time. He can't even close up to the leaders now, but he's just having a lot of fun still, and he loves the challenge. Rainbow is having a good battle pass through 15. And heading into 16 with Nomsy. Not much space at all, but pure respect from both of these drivers. So Rainbow up into 9th, but for how much longer? Rainbow's got to keep Nomsy at bay on those fresher tyres because Nomsy has been on those tyres for 14 laps. I think Nomsy should be fine for making those tyres last. Mark then gaining another position. I need to actually remember where Mark started. Let me have a look. Mark started in 11th, so Mark was trying for the owner strategy. 1.2 seconds gain per lap. It is doable, but again, he's going to lose optimum pace very quickly, so it's going to be tight for Mark, but if he makes it work, that could be good. Jeffrey almost got Luke there. Heading towards the final corner. So let's see what he could do then. DRS open. And Jeffrey breezes past Luke, but Luke tries to defend off the outside. Heading towards turn 3 now. Tight little hairpin coming up through 4. Keeping just a fraction of a car length in between each other. 5 now. Into 6. Luke is holding on for all his might. With just a few laps remaining. Jay's still in it as well. If Jay could just hold on, he could be on for a podium, but Jay's in danger of losing his points if he gets the puncher. So Jay must be doing some lifting and coasting now. Anchor must be loving this. And do not forget, penalties could come into fruition. There may be some drivers that are on certain warnings. Again, I don't know which warnings they're on, and usually I ask my co-commentator. And we did see in Tier 1 some punches as well. And for the ones who did get the punches, they were not happy bunnies at all. Home stretch for these drivers now. Oh, Luke's gone wide. Luke's gone wide in the final corner. Jeffrey, this is your moment to shine. Heading towards turn 1. To the left-hand side he goes. Into these tricky, precise corners. Luke, this is not what he was meant to do. And Jeffrey took it in a heartbeat. Jeffrey Ritchie is your new race leader as we head towards turn 5. Luke only has a few opportunities now to regain that race win. And it all fell on a drop of a hat. That is a shame for Luke Smith, But Jeffrey Ritchie must be absolutely loving it. And I'm sure People in the grandstand are cheering on for these guys at home. Some drivers that you weren't expecting to be in these positions are fighting for these positions. You were expecting Jeffrey and Luke to be up there. But for Jay and Anchor, this is unfamiliar territory, and I'm absolutely loving this battle between these two. Two of these drivers I know very well. I get on with them very well as well. And I literally don't know who's going to come out on top. It probably will be Anchor, but honestly, if Jay manages to get P3 today, on those warm mediums, I would definitely give him driver of the day. But he's got to get to the end burst. So Jay, do not let the fans down. But Anchor just has a little bit more traction. And Jay's already lost a bit of time. Jay closes the door. And all this is not helping Anchor at all. With the dirty air, we're on the penultimate lap of this race. This is shaping up to be a spectacular end to this. And fasten your seatbelts. And these drivers could not afford to become complacent. We do not know who's going to get the win. We do not know who's going to get the podium. And you can see it's all down to the top four now. From fifth downwards, they're out of the picture, unfortunately. No offence to them, but look at this. I'm seeing Anchor's running out of ERS. This is not good. Not good at all. But what is Anchor going to be thinking? Where would he plant his car to make sure Jay doesn't respond? But I think this is going to be the cork on the bottle for Jay. Anchor has the pace now, has the extra grip. So does Luke as well. Towards turn 14. Could this be the race winning move for Vexit? And I think it is. Luke Smith had the opportunity and he took it. And could this be where he holds on to that race win? But we're on the final lap. Jeffrey could have one more opportunity. Jeffrey takes the lead again. This could be a ding-dong battle between these two. And Jay's also in the fight with Mr. Anchor as well. Jay's going to have DRS. So Jay could still get third. Fair play to Jay for keeping these tyres into good nick, I have to say. But these are the two drivers we're riding on board with at the moment that we should keep an eye on. So let's see who's going to win, Jeffrey or Luke. And all it takes is for one driver to make a small mistake and Jeffrey's gone wide. Luke has got the lead after Jeffrey's mistake, and I timed it at the wrong moment and Jeffrey's probably going to kill me. But Luke, he's only got turn 13, 14, 15 and 16 to go. And then he'll be the race winner. Jeffrey, though, has more ERS than Luke. Jeffrey's got the DRS as well. This is surely the move that Jeffrey's looking for. Jeffrey has got to go for the switchback. He does not. I think this could be race victory for Luke Smith. Let's go on board with him. He won in Japan and he's won in China. Jeffrey comes across the line in P2. Anchor, after having dismal races, 2 DNFs. He has got his first podium of the season. Jay, I have to say, one of the drivers of the day. How did he not get a puncher? How did he not get a puncher? That is insane. Cookie comes across the line in 5th. JC 6th normally did well to get his tyres to the end as well. Rainbow in 8th. Tom Martinez in 9th. I believe he's got the fastest lap, but let me have a look. Oh, I did not see it because it did not pop quickly enough. My oh my, I've lost my voice, but that was a sensational end to that race. And Jay has got drive the day in game, and I have to say I have to give it to him. Because he started low down. I didn't think his tyres were going to get to the end. He defended Anchor for so long. He had to let go of Anchor though because he knew Anchor was a lot faster on the more durable tyres. So for our first winner that's won 2 on the trot, and I do believe because of this, Vexit will lead the championship. And with Ace, I believe will be in P2. That is going to be a great fight between these two. Ace is Richie, of course. So, let's go through your results. Luke Smith from Jeffrey, from Anchor, from Jay, from Cookie, JC, Nomsy, Rainbow, Tom, and he does get the fastest lap, but no fastest lap point because we don't do that at WOR. Fritz and Intent. Then we got Mark, Kerfuffle, Perondi, who's retired, as well as Sally, Deads, Neon, and those are your 16 runners and riders tonight. And that drink definitely helped, Ben, because otherwise I would have had no other voice, I have to say. That was incredible. Can we have that race again? I would absolutely love that. So I'm going to try and see if people are ready for interviews. I think they will, so let me go. Let me go into the commentary box and see if we can get people in to have a little bit of a chat because, that was absolutely crazy, I have to say. And I'm gutted that Germo did miss that. I really am, so I just really hope that Germo could have a good race to commentate on next week. So let's speak to our top 3. Let's see if they're available. Just give me a moment. So I've asked for the top 3 to come in then. Where are we next week? Let me have a look at the calendar. I think we are at Canada next week. Oh, God, I love Canada. Canada is incredible track. One of my favourite tracks on the game to drive in, at least. And I think we're going to expect another close fight, in particular for the likes of Jeffrey and Luke. I think these two are going to be championship contenders. I think I'm calling that right now. I know it's early to think about it, but I don't know. And I'll just give it a moment whilst I wait for people to come in. Because I think people are probably just taking a moment to sink in on just what a crazy race we have had. And it was hard at times to commentate by myself, but, you know, I managed it. And it's annoying that I can't drag any of them in now. Oh, I can actually drag them in this week. Okay. Luke, as in Humperdinck Luke, has probably fixed it. So let's get some drivers in then to talk to us. To talk to us lovely people at home. So, here they go, the top 3. So we'll start with our race winner. Another race win from you, Luke. Tell us, that was a crazy end to that race with Ace battling alongside you.
Yeah, that was not an easy battle. GG's face. That was a very nice, yeah, I'm repeating myself. Very nice battle. More action than the Belgian GP, so glad to have had that. And yeah, it was an enjoyable race despite being very tough.
Yeah, I think not many people like China as well. And talk us through your qualifying session, because it could have been a lot better for you, but at the end it did not matter there. Was there some more time you could have found there?
A lot. I think I know that online probably isn't as fast as time trial, but I've got like a 28.7 in T2, so there was a lot more time. I think at least maybe a 29 low, so pole was definitely on the cards. But then, yeah, I think it was from like P2 or 3 to me was like only a 10th. So if I just found 1/10, that would have been the front row. So yeah, a lot of time that could have been found in quali, but
Didn't matter.
Again, yeah, exactly.
And obviously, you started on the softs, went on to the hards as early as you can as well. And in the safety car, because the safety car came out as well. It was a shame that your teammate couldn't pit together because unfortunately double stacking on this game, but he had the priority. Was it a no-brainer really pitting on the safety car?
I think it wasn't necessarily a no-brainer, but I think it was it definitely turned out to be the better strategy to pit under a safety car. Obviously, yeah, with you mentioning that Tom couldn't box under the safety car, he still got, I think it was P9 and fastest lap, so
Yeah.
still some solid points for Ferrari, but yeah, it definitely turned out to be the better strat, but that I definitely could have seen some other options maybe working out as well, but yeah, I think it was the right strat at the end of the day.
Yeah, and there was probably a threat of rain, which didn't materialise, unfortunately. I didn't even know the weather, to be honest with you. But next week, we go to an even different track to China. Another short track, Canada, I believe is the next track.
Yeah.
Are you confident about that?
Actually, I found that Canada's one of my better tracks in this game, surprisingly. Whereas somewhere like Bahrain, coincidentally, that I missed, isn't actually a stronger track. So, yeah, I'm gonna be quite looking forward to that one, and yeah, enjoying it as well. Obviously, something you mentioned with the rain as well. I checked, it was only ever gonna be cloudy. I think it was like.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like a bit of overcast in the middle of the race, then it cleared up a bit. So
That's why I don't like checking the weather, because I like surprises. And I was glad it wasn't raining. But to be honest, after Belgium today, I think I'm glad it didn't rain. So
yeah.
And where do you think you're going to end up next week in Canada? Another Dubski?
Certainly possible. I like the look of my pace there. And yeah, that's certainly going to be a better one for quali as well. Gonna have a bit more time to practice, so yeah, hopefully the dub is possible.
There we go. So congratulations yet again on another win, and I believe that will put you in the lead of the championship there. So best of luck for next week, and we'll speak to P2, who narrowly missed out on the win, but kept the lead at some points in the race. Jeffrey, so close, but fantastic battling from you today.
Yeah, that last lap, I tried to do like the biggest 5-head strategy of making a mistake and then getting the DRS, but the setup just didn't work for me. I was on way too much wing and I had damage from like lap 15 or something. So in the middle sector, I was just too slow, and in the straight line, I was also slow. So I couldn't do much. I could barely hold it the DRS really. But yeah, GG. I think. What's the next one? The China? No.
Yeah, we will go to that. We'll go to that in a minute as well. So where did you qualify on circuit? Because I completely forgot where you qualified in the end.
I was P4.
You were P4, and I didn't think you would challenge for the win eventually. And we saw this to start that Cookie made as well. When you saw that Cookie had some issues as well earlier on, did that boost your chances a bit more?
Cookie was at the first stint, he was zooming, and then because I was on like 8 wing front, and then in the pits I decided to up it to 9, and then I had just cracked pace. I couldn't get past because he was being blocked by an old medium runner, but then he tried to like send it on that medium runner and just plowed into the back of that guy and got himself damaged. So I guess that kind of got him out the way. And then it was just me and Vexit basically just slipstreaming each other till the end. And, yeah, it didn't work out for me, but still a good race.
How hard were those hard compounded tyres towards the end? Because I think they were getting towards the point where they weren't optimum in terms of pace.
Not well. The hards were. You could literally do the entire race on hards. Actually, you could probably pit like lap 2 and just go hards, because I think mine were only 40-50% at the end. So
Surely a bit more than that. No, I was on like 64 or something like
Yeah,
that.
mine were
Oh,
like low
God.
50s. So
Yeah, your tire wear with those pressure cracked. Naturally.
I know. That's why I use it. It works. And like, but I would have had a little bit more pace probably if it wasn't for the damage. But
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is.
Exactly, and we're going to be heading to Canada next week. Luke says he likes the track. What about you?
Canada. I don't know. I've never actually driven the track, so I guess we'll see. Uh, I think. Well, since like till now, I've not done any practice, so I'll probably have to practice Canada though, because I know the track limits are all over the place, and there's some points you can get in a lot of time if you take it right. Well, I'll do a couple sessions and slap on a TT setup and see where we end up.
And Luke says he's quite confident in getting the Dovski next week. You just missed out on the win 2 weeks in a row. Is next week the week that you're gonna get the win and challenge Luke? Go on, say yes.
Oh, easy claps, obviously, easy.
there we go. You see my way of thinking. There we go. In the first, you saw what happened last week. There we go.
You seem confident for someone on a TT setup.
Oh, rivalry coming already. I like it. I like it. Best of luck for next week, Jeffrey. Congratulations. And we've got our final podium sitter, P3, who had some unfortunate misfortune in the last few races, but finally the luck has come back. Mr. Anchor, congratulations on your first point of the season, and your first point of the season happened to be P3 and on the podium. How do you feel after that comeback?
Yeah, thanks, Tess. Yeah, it was a pretty hectic race, to be honest. Yeah, I honestly didn't really expect that much from this race, but I don't know, came into this race without any practice, and in turned out I had a good pace, and yeah, managed to finally take some points, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was our front lead. I just spun around in the first corner, so that might have just cost me a win today, but nonetheless, it was still a fun race, and yeah, a very enjoyable one.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that you spun earlier on as well, which I did caught sadly, which could have maybe costed you the win as well. But I was not expecting you to qualify that high. Your qualifying was a really good lap, actually. Talk us through that.
Yeah, it was quite a messy lap, to be honest.
Oh.
Not that great.
Yeah, and you obviously had a good start as well. But then when you got to the safety car period, did that undo your hard work maybe, or did you think, oh, I could get back in this race?
Not really. I knew I had the pace, and I knew that I could come back from all the difficulties. So.
Yes, because you had a difficult season so far with the likes of Bahrain and Japan going your way. Did you nearly give up after Japan last week? And did you think your season was over? And after tonight,
No.
do
No.
you think you're going to get your championship back on track?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yes, next week, I believe, we head to Canada. What do you like about this track? Do you like it at all, or...?
Actually, I'm not really sure. I haven't driven Canada on this game yet, so. But yeah, it's a pretty fun track. But yeah, we still need to do some practice first to see what the pace is like.
Yeah, exactly. And do you think, what is your aim for next week then? What are your expectations? You could get another podium, or are you just aiming for points next week?
Definitely a win.
Yes, there we go. Everyone's catching on to my bandwagon. I like it. So, first points on the board. Congratulations, Anchor. P3 for you, and best of luck for next week.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Right then, so that is our podium interviews. That's all we got time for this evening. Hopefully, Jermo will be back in the commentary box with me next week when we head to Canada. Another different track and penalty central, I have to say. And also the infamous War of the Champions. Let's hope people do not get caught in that next week. So from myself, Jessica Ball, and hopefully Gemma will join you and myself next week. We will see you same time, 8 p.m. UK time on the WR channel for the Canadian Grand Prix. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and subscribe to us on YouTube and turn notifications on. Have a good evening, everybody, and good night.
Antoine is going to be crowned your WR Season 10 champion.
And history's been made. Ballina, the first WOR PS4 champion. What a championship! What a season! Absolutely phenomenal!